come on in because we are back to review Ready to Love season 11. And I don't remember what episode we're on. I don't remember what episode on, but we are here. I am back. I'm feeling better. Thank you, everyone out there, for sending me well wishes. I appreciate y'all being concerned about me, looking out for me. Yes, check on me. Check on your girl. But hey, before we get started, don't forget to like the video. Like the video, y'all. I'm gonna need to be saying it more often, I guess, because I guess I don't say it enough. So don't forget to like the video. But we gonna get into it right away, y'all. Let's talk about it. So first of all, first of all, in the beginning of the episode, all the men are coming into the men's lounge to meet because, you know, Tommy got to have his time to get clapped for and cheered for and tell everybody what's going on. And Darius, he was like, oh, what's Tommy doing calling us together? He going to be having us meet some aliens or something? Darius, please. You don't need to be worried about the aliens. The aliens going to be worried about you with all these furs you wear of live animals. Are they alive? Do we know for sure that they're dead? Because Darius is starting to scare me. I saw that other clip where he had a fox on his neck with a head and everything and feet and toes and toenails. My goodness. And then this episode, we're going to get to it later on. He ends up giving Ashley a white fur, a white Pomeranian. That looked like a white Pomeranian. I don't know what that was. She up here wearing a white Pomeranian. Ashley last episode was talking about how she the black sheep of the family. Girl, you ain't no black sheep no more. You now are the white Pomeranian. That's what I'm going to say. But the men was showing up. Tommy was clowning Bello, calling him the nectarine Nigerian. The nectarine Nigerian. Everybody trying to bring this fashion out here from Detroit. I don't know if I'm completely feeling it. I'm really not. We get to see later on, Dominique got them stockings on again. I don't know where she wears those. Those are not cute to me. They really not cute to me at all. But it was going to be the Meet the Exes episode. I know a lot of people don't like Meet the Exes episode. They feel that it's a waste of time. They feel like, why would I want to meet someone's ex? You should want to meet people's exes. You should want to meet people's ex-wives, all of them. The more information you can get, the better. Now, if you want to throw out the information you get from the exes, then throw it out. Throw it out. But let me tell you, you can learn a lot about people through their exes and not just by what the person tells you. You know, a lot of people be coming into new relationships telling you how the relationship went, and next thing you know, it'd be all the other person's fault. You never get to hear another side of the story. You see, how many times have you dated a guy and then you didn't talk to the ex, and then later on you break up and you realize that the same problem you had with the ex is the same problem, your ex, the same problem he had with other people. Information is valuable. You should never turn away information. I wouldn't. You know who ain't turning away no information? Donna. You know Donna ain't turning away no information. She over here going to come out with a date nap at the end of this Ready Love. I'm going to tell you right now. But everybody who was looking the most concerned about meeting the exes was Darius. He looked concerned. So we're going to have to talk about his date. But the first ex date we got to see was Cardi's date with his ex-girlfriend called Day. First of all, I know Dominique got a little saying that she calls herself and Cardi Cardam. But on this date, you might want to call this Cardi B, because that day lady was out the box. She was out the box. Do we think Cardi, he said that she was her first love. First love what? Like in high school? How far back? I need context, Cardi, because I want to know how long ago did you date this day lady? Because if it is in your recent past, I'm going to say you're a red flag because she's kind of a red flag. She's really a red flag. I'm going to tell you something about this date. So, first of all, Dawn was on the date. She showed up looking fabulous as always. And the first thing that day lady said is, "Are you high maintenance?" Because what she did was she judged Dominique by her outfit. And she probably says, "Do you run them stockings? Do you get a run in them stockings a lot? Are those stockings high maintenance?" Where's my viewer out there said that Dom's stockings look like HBCU dancers? Who knows? Maybe she was an HBCU dancer. I don't know why she wears them, but it kind of ages her. She's already the oldest one on the show, and then wearing those thick stockings really, really ages her. Maybe because it's winter. Was this taped during the winter? Maybe so, because Darius is running around wearing Pomeranians on the neck. So maybe, and coyotes, maybe it is winter and she's trying to keep her legs warm. Hey, I don't know. But anyway, Cardi B was on up here showing up. That's what I'm gonna call day, Cardi B, with Cardi D and Cardi B. And she's asking Dominique, "Are you high maintenance?" Dominique is showing up here with her Birkin bags. Now, I know Dominique was married to a ball player. So, Birkin bags are expensive, unless she's wearing a fake one. Okay, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt she's wearing a real Birkin bag. Birkin bags are expensive. What are they, $30,000? You showing up with a $30,000 bag on a blind date with not a blind date, but a date with 3 other women. Don't do that, Dominique. Don't do that. Save your Birkin bags for when you going out on a date to somewhere nice, not at no date where you there with 3 other women. So while Dominique had on her compression stockings and her Birkin bags, my girl Shannon showed up with, guess what? Her pearls. Shannon gonna show up with her pearls. Somebody told me that Shannon is an AKA, which is giving me context to her pearls. And then it all made sense when I saw her show up with her pink and green sweater on it. Did they make her remove her letters? Because she didn't have no Greek letters on it. But once I remember someone telling me she was an AKA, I was like, I know Nicole is stuck in undergrad. And did someone tell me that Nicole was an AKA too? Yes. And now we got Shannon over here wearing her sorority pearls and her sorority sweater, her pearls almost to every episode. What is going on? What is going on? I know it's a lifetime commitment, but can we get a break, Shannon? Girl, can we get a break from it? But I guess them pearls came in handy because during this whole date, she was clutching them. She was clutching them pearls. She was clutching them pearls. And the other person that showed up on the date was Ashanti. Did I say that right? Yes. No. The singer is Ashanti. This is Ashante. Ashante. I don't want to mess up her name because I know I'd be messing up people's names. And Ashante showed up. And I'm going to tell you what was very, very glaring between these 3 women. You had mature Dominique. She's old to the game. She's been in this game a while. You saw her maturity, how she handled Cardi B. Cardi B is Day. You saw the maturity of how Dominique handled Cardi B's outlandish, personality here. You saw the pristine and poised Shannon, how she handled the outrageous conversations that Cardi B was having. Shannon was poised. She clutched her pearls in order to hang on to her composure. But then what you saw, the youngest person on the show, Ashante, you saw her immaturity. And we've seen this from Ashante. We've seen her not able to control herself in environments that don't necessarily agree with her. It is okay for people not to agree with your spirit or agree with you. It is okay for other people to not, have the energy you have. But where you show your immaturity is if you are not able to rise above the other foolishness of the Cardi B atmosphere and maintain who you are. And you let those people, the Cardi B's or whatever of the world, pull you out of yourself, or you're telling me that's really who you are and they don't even need to pull you out of it. That's my question for Ashante. She showed her immaturity. She showed that she's not able to manage her emotions in situations where someone rubs her the wrong way. And this isn't the first time we've seen it. This is why she almost got eliminated in the beginning. If you remember, Ashante was getting into arguments all the time with Vince and other people. That's why initially they almost eliminated her. And now here she is getting into these verbal wars with Cardi's ex, Cardi B. This is what you're having. And so, what kicked it off was because Ashante said, yeah, Cardi's my dog. And that right there was enough for Cardi B to latch on to and start a little verbal jousting. And Ashante, she took the bait. She took the bait. So, in a lot of ways, I'm going to tell you this. Cardi B, to me, ate up Ashante in that verbal jousting. I know Ashante thinks she held her ground, but I'm going to tell you that what Cardi B Day exposed in Ashante was this sort of what I believe is a mask. You see, I see Ashante with this mask talking about how she just wants to be friends and I want to develop a friendship first. And that's why she came in here with this, yeah, he's my dog. Well, is he just your friend? Or like she was saying, are you interested in him? Because I'm confused. And Ashante really holds on tightly to this principle. I want to be friends first before I'm anything else. In principle, Ashante, I don't think anybody can disagree with you that, of course, you also want to be friends with your lover, right? But I think what Ashante does is she uses that friends first, lovers second, as a protective skill for fear. I do. I think Ashante is a bit fearful in dating. And one of the things she's using is to be friends first so she can limit her risk in a relationship. And therefore, she can save herself from either some hurt down the line. And in theory, it's nothing wrong with wanting to get to know a person before you get intimately involved with that person. It's a good game plan. But I think where Ashante is right now is this is why men say she doesn't open up. She has a wall. She can somewhat be combative, argumentative. These are all protective mechanisms she's using to protect herself. So when I see all this friendship wall, argumentative, going back and forth with Cardi B, what for? What for? This girl is here for a 30-minute, filming session. Why do you need to get into so much of a verbal joust with her? Look around the room, Ashante. Did you see Dominique sipping on her drink? Did you see Shannon clutching her pearls? You see, that's what you do when you become older and you mature. When you become older and mature, you're not easily triggered by people who are inconsequential. You can't give your energy to everyone. You really, really can't. That girl, Cardi B, had Ashante backpedaling. She was backpedaling. And I know she thought she had some good one-liners. Like, I can call any man right now if I want to have sex. Girl, you making yourself look worse. Worse, worse, worse. These are not good comebacks. And that's when Cardi B said, well, oh, you can? Who can you call? Who can you call? You see, girl, walk away, Ashante. You are no. You're not ready for the Cardi B's of the world. Not you better recognize you was not ready for what Cardi B was out here throwing. And then Ashante run around talking about, I'm not here to be able to talk about my coochie to someone. Well, then stop talking. You see, the best comeback is silence. I'm telling you, people think comebacks are words. When you have a person like a Cardi B, the best comeback actually sometimes it's not words, it's silence. Because words is what they want. They thrive off your words. You see the minute you said, he's my dog, she jumped on your words. You see the minute you said, I can get sex from any man, she jumped on your words. You see the minute you start talking about your coochie, she jumped on your words. You know how you get the Cardi B's to back down eventually and leave it alone? Just be quiet. Let them know that whatever words they got don't penetrate you. They're inconsequential. You see what I'm saying? Maybe you need your own superpower. Maybe Dominique's superpower are those compression stockings. Maybe Shannon's superpower are those pearls. You know, Darius got his Pomeranian furs. Ashante, you need to go find you a superpower. Go find you something to put on, girl. Because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. Because everything that you was saying, you wasn't winning no points. Even when you start talking about a sexual connection is normal. That's what, Cardi B was trying to say. And you was like, well, a period is normal and going to the bathroom is normal. Girl, no. Those not good comebacks, Ashante. Those are not good comebacks. And then you run around asking, is Cardi a freak in the bed? Ugh. In the end, not Ashante, but Cardi B told Cardi, Dominique was the number one, because what she said was she didn't care about other women and she didn't even care about me. That's when you know that Cardi B was effing with you, Ashante. She was mind effing you, and you played right into it. You played right into it, because in the end, she actually said that the girl or the woman that was the best was the one that didn't get so rattled by her antics. Cardi B is used to pushing buttons. And you fell for it, Ashante. You fell for it. She said Shannon was number 2. And she said, Ashante, you got to go. You got to go. She goes, at your grown age, you should be coming out here talking about what you can bring to the table and what you want from a man. Not up here fighting with me at a table. And that's it was a bad look, Ashante. It was a bad look. And as such, I don't think Cardi is even looking your direction. And hey, I'm not even saying you should care that Cardi's not looking in your direction, because I'm going to need to know how far past Cardi B in terms of taste in women Cardi has grown. When he says first love, I hope it's a high school first love. It's a 19, 20-year first love, because I'm hoping that this is not his type now. I've been wondering about Cardi B's life story. Not Cardi B, Cardi's life story. And something tells me he was a slight nerd too. And he done found his sex appeal. Just like Chris was saying, he's come out of his shell. Something tells me that Cardi was a slow starter in the dating world. That's what I'm thinking. But the next day we got to see was Bello with his ex, who was Tara. And they've known each other for over 23 years. And if you listen real carefully, um, Tara said, well, what's your type? What's Bello's type of woman? She said, one man. Basically, anyone, any person with a vagina. He ain't got no type. Basically, what Tara was saying is Bello will F any woman with a vagina between her legs. He don't really have that big of a criteria, which kind of goes in line with the whole Miami story of I had a one night stand in Miami and a baby was produced. And then what I tried to do was pretend like I didn't know the woman was pregnant and the baby wasn't mine until the authorities, the child support services in Miami called his butt back to Miami and said, you've been written down on a birth certificate as the father of a child, and we're going to need to start collecting some child support from you too. And so you need to come down to Miami and do a DNA test. And now you got a strict co-parenting arrangement because you didn't really want the baby. So the mama said, well, just send the check. You don't want to have nothing to do with the baby? That's fine. Send a check. So that ex said his type is one man. He gets around. He gets around, and I believe it. One thing I like about him is this episode, he got rid of that hair dye. You see what I'm saying? He shaved his head all bald. And I like the look. I like the look. I hope his superpower wasn't that hair dye. Talking about what people's superpower. I hope his superpower wasn't that hair dye, and maybe it's his fashion too. But you know what? When Dominique walked in, they had a real sensual kiss. It was slow and easy. It was very slow and easy. And he said Dominique is his top choice right now. But he said he felt that he and Ashante had much more in common. And initially when the date was going on, the ex Tara thought that, oh yeah, Dominique is the top. But as time went on and she was able to see Bello have this sort of homey vibe conversation with Ashante, she was like, oh yeah, I see more of your connection. Well, the problem is what I see it as is a homey vibe. A homey vibe. You see what I'm saying? See, Ashante got to be really careful about believing that just because she and Bello have all these interesting conversations and they have so much in common, that they will make good partners. Because really what Ashante is sensing in Bello is probably his ability to not fully connect with one woman and commit to one woman and be all in with one woman, because he's kind of like her. She's not really in either. She 1 foot in, 1 foot out. She likes to keep distance. And Tara and that baby mama is telling you he likes to keep distance with his women. You know what I'm saying? And so what Ashante is thinking of, oh, we got so much in common. Well, that ain't a good thing to have in common with your lover, mate, husband, where both of you want to keep distance. You see, everything in common is not a good thing to have in common. You can't have two people together and both people don't really want to do what it takes to commit to a relationship. Then it ain't going to be no relationship, Ashante. You know what I'm saying? Ashante looking for men who make her feel safe, right? And her safe place is men who want to get to know her first on a friend level so that she can warm up very, very slowly. You see, she wants to have a slow warm up because she's fearful and she's scary. And so she wants to take it slow. So what she likes is she likes men who want to take it slow. Friends first, casual. Then what happens is, then later, as Ashante is warming up, and finally she's heated up, and she's like, oh, okay, now that I'm fully ready, I'm fully prepared. The problem is you've been friend zoned by the man, because all that heating up you done with him forever how long, he has moved on, Or the fact that he could take it so slow with you meant he was never really interested in you that much, and he probably had other women on the side. See, Ashante don't understand that her slow process attracts a certain type of guy. Anybody interested in Ashante's slow process is a guy that probably is lukewarm interested, or a guy who has a whole lot of other people keeping him interested. How long is this warm up process, Ashante? This is what I want to know. But they said they had a lot in common. Even Bello said he ain't into PDA. Ooh, Ashanti goes, me too. What the hell kind of relationship this gonna be between Ashanti and Bello? You don't want to hug hands. You don't want to sit next to each other. You just want to be friends. Then go get you one of them dead dogs, one of them dead foxes from Darius. Okay? If you want someone that don't have no feelings, don't want to have no type of intimacy besides effing and making babies, then go get you one of them Pomeranian white foxes from Darius. This is not something you want to have in common with your mate. And it was interesting that they both had read this book called Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil. Has anybody read the book Outwitting the Devil? Let me look it up because I ain't read it, but they both raved about it. Let me see what it's about, y'all. Let me see what it's about. It's about, what's AI saying it's about? Outwitting the Devil is a fictional interview with the devil. It's a fictional interview with the devil to uncover the secrets to success and freedom by identifying and overcoming obstacles like fear. Oh my goodness, Ashante. Fear, procrastination. I think I'm in the ballpark with you, Ashante. And jealousy. The book reveals 7 principles for success, focusing on developing a definite purpose, mastering self, learning from adversity, controlling your environment, and using the law of hypnotic rhythm. The law of hypnotic rhythm to break free from negative habits and achieve personal potential. The devil, I guess, is a metaphor. The devil represents the negative forces and habits that hold people back, such as fear, doubt, and procrastination. 7 principles of fear. So I guess there are 7 principles of fear: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. You know what? I could see these two reading this book, because one is, I think Bello is into sales, right? And in sales, you do need to be fearless because you get a lot of no's. So you do have to learn to push past the no's to get to the success. Because in sales, you may get 1,000 no's and only 2 yeses, but you got to know how to push past that. And I do believe that Ashante struggles with fear. She does. But I think that the strategy she has to conquering fear, one of the ones I think she's using is to slow down. And now what she's doing is she's trying to not move so fast. I don't think she has the right balance. She might need to address that person inside of her telling her these scary stories, right? She needs to address that, because inside of us, there is this other little voice who tells us scary stories, and we need to silence it. We need to defeat it, because if we don't defeat it, it can take over all of our decision making. And I see Ashante quite often fighting for her life. In that conversation with Cardi B, Ashante was fighting for her life. And a non-fearful person would not even been afraid of the barking dog. You see, Cardi B was a barking dog, a Pomeranian at the feet, at the ankles of my feet. If I had been sitting there with Cardi B, I probably wouldn't even addressed her. She's not a threat to me. So the fact that Ashante felt she was a threat and she felt that she needed to respond to her tells me that she sees threats where they're not threats. And that's also typically what makes a lot of people fearful. They see threats in their mind, but they're not really threats. But anyway, so I guess in the end, who did Tara pick? In the end, I guess she's on the fence. She said first Dominique, and then she said later, but I can see it with Ashante. So she never really gave an answer. But then later on, the next date we got to see was with Darius. And I noticed right away that Darius was showing up with a gift bag. That's one thing Darius is going to do. He's going to show up with a gift. And I was wondering, he only got one gift bag. Was it for the ex? Was it for Ashley? Or was it for Nicole? And I was sitting there saying, let me see who he's going to give this gift bag to. And I said, if he gives that gift bag to his ex, that's going to be a problem. But in the end, he ended up giving it to Ashley. But also what I noticed is that when Ashley walked into the date, I didn't see, unless they edited it out, I didn't see Ashley walk over and give Darius a hug. I didn't. I saw her walk in, sit down next to the ex, who's also, I think, name is Ashley. Which I didn't think was an appropriate way to walk into the room. Then the worst entrance into the room was Nicole's, where at least Ashley greeted the other Ashley and said hello. Nicole walked into the room, gave Ashley, the other one on the contestant, one of the suitors or whatever, gave her a hug, but barely acknowledged the lady sitting at the table. And even Ashley, Darius's ex, was like, notice that, wow, girl, how you gonna walk into a room and not even say hi to me? That screams insecurity. You're so insecure just walking into the room, you can't even acknowledge me. Okay? Nicole's so insecure that when she walked into the room, she couldn't even acknowledge the ex, nor did she walk over and even greet Darius. I just thought these two ladies are both showing insecurities. I know people right now are all over Nicole's insecurities, but Ashley got a ton of them too. And what Ashley looks to do to cover up her insecurities is to partner with people who she thinks are bold and fearless in the world, right? And I think this is how she somehow has described herself as becoming the so-called black sheep of the family, which, like I said before, I never liked that terminology she gave herself. But when people have been given that title in a family, it typically is alluding to you're the black sheep of the family because you make decisions that are outside of the norm of the family. If the norm of the family is this is how we operate as a family unit, and you always like to go outside of the family unit, that's how typically you've been called a black sheep, and people will sometimes label you as a troublemaker. I don't really believe in those terminologies, but I'm gonna just go with what's the stereotypical way that they talk about it. But when I see Ashley, and I see Ashley, who I don't consider to be very, she doesn't move with boldness in life. I don't see it. She often is fearful or intimidated by other people. I don't see it. But yet she's attracted to Darius, who's very bold in life, which means, do we have the situation whereby she gets her boldness from hanging around people who color outside? That's how is that how she gets her boldness, right? And and it's interesting to see is this the type, are these the two type of ladies that Darius would want? We find out that Darius is not attracted to Nicole's insecurities. He said, I can't be with no insecure woman because I'm a pimp out here and women be kissing my ring. How the heck could Ashley be with me when later on we're going to see Ashley saying, I don't even want my man talking to another woman? And Darius said, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. And I think he's believing that Ashley is a different form of Nicole, and I'm not quite sure. Be honest with you, I'm not quite sure at all. I think that their insecurities show up in two completely different ways. Nicole wears hers on her sleeve. They're very, very obvious. But in Ashley's, I think they're lying just below the surface. And it doesn't take much to scratch it off before that wound will be extremely exposed. Darius and Ashley are not a good fit. I don't care what's going on. But it was interesting that Ashley, the ex, asked Darius a question, and she said, do you think you are ready to start dating again? And that signaled that something happened in Darius's last relationship that was either recent or quite traumatic. And I don't know what it was, if I missed it. But she expressed concern that, are you in the mental space to be able to date again? And have you recovered from the last relationship? I wonder what happened in the last relationship. And Darius says he loves a confident woman. And even Ashley said Darius needs a woman that when she walks into the room, she turns heads. And, Ashley typically wears her hair in a hair bonnet. To me, Ashley's conservative. I mean, has anyone seen anything from Ashley that seems bold and like a big personality? No. Ashley is giving me the vibes that she's the girl that likes to hang around other people who are bold and out there. And those people give her the confidence she doesn't have. I'm telling you, that's what it's giving me. But in the end, Darius whipped out that nice white Pomeranian as a gift to put around her neck. And she was like, ooh, this is nice. And she got a kiss from Darius. They kissed. I will say this, Darius, where my husband, hopefully he ain't watching this video. Darius's lips, they are kissable. Those nice lips, I like people with lips that you can kiss, not no thin lips. Darius's lips, he keep them glossed up too. Ooh, he be drawing them in. Darius and Dominique know how to draw the women in. And Darius know how to draw the women in, and Dominique know how to draw the men in. And Ashley is being seduced by them lips. That's why she kissed him for that white Pomeranian. That's why she kissed him. But the next date we got to see was Vince with his ex, was Ebony. And he said, let me give you a 5-second hug, a 3-second hug, not a 5-second hug, because he wanted to make sure everybody knew that there was nothing romantic going on anymore. And then he went out on a date with Don and Nicole and Ashanti. Gets here. Ashanti a hit. She on everybody's date because Ashanti's safe. That's why she's on everybody's date. Okay, she's safe. She cute, and she not all the way in the friend zone, but she's also safe. But I haven't really heard anyone say too much talk about do they see a romantic part with Ashanti? They see friendship, a budding friendship. But Vince said Ashanti's really cool. That's just like saying you my homie. You really cool. And but he hasn't been able to go deep with Ashanti. They're not going to be able to go deep because didn't they get into an argument in the first 2 episodes? Why is she even here with Vince? They don't even like each other. They're not going to get along because Vince likes to trigger people and Ashanti is easily triggered. How the hell they going to be a couple? And really Vince and Donna are not a good match. Let me tell you why. The only reason Vince likes Donna is because Donna is analytical and she can also be argumentative. But Donna will eat Vince alive probably in an argument because Vince is probably going to argue from an emotional point or he going to be spitting out things that are not true and not factual. He going to be spitting out things he heard on Instagram or a TikTok and it ain't going to be even true. And or things he heard from some YouTuber, and it ain't gonna be true or fact. And Donna gonna come with the stats, the statistics, and she gonna eat Vince alive in any real argument. He ain't gonna win. And the only reason they like each other right now is because both of them have this toughness to them that most people don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with it. Vince likes to debate and is argumentative, and that ex said it. That's why you like to meet. That's why it's important to meet exes. If y'all didn't see no value in meeting an ex, did you see it here? If you wonder in your head, I wonder if Vince is argumentative or is it just a situation? Guess what? You just got your confirmation. Nope, he likes to argue. And even in that moment when she said he likes to get the last word, he wanted to argue about it. Now, she just said he likes to get the last word. Do you think Donna doesn't want the last word? Absolutely. Donna just got rid of Chris because Chris monopolized the conversation. Donna wants the last words. She's the judge and the jury. So how the heck are they going to be together? And then Donna had the nerve to say that the problem with the ex Ebony was that she didn't know how to stop talking. Donna always telling somebody to stop talking so she can talk. Do y'all notice that? Donna's biggest complaint to everyone is that people need to stop talking. Right? For what? So Donna can talk, so Donna can have the floor, and Donna can render her decisions. Donna said they need to learn how to stop bickering. So anyway, they started getting through this conversation about what do you guys normally do, in your off time, your downtime. And Nicole says she's normally at home because that's where she gonna want her man because she can't be talking to no one. Ashanti says she's at cocktail bars because she says she don't want to be with no man if she gonna be bored. Ashanti over at cocktail bars, mixing and mingling with a bunch of people, not making no real deep connections because that's the safe place to be bouncing around, girl. And the ex said, Ebony said, well, Vince is going to need someone who is very nurturing. And Ashanti said, ugh, gross. Ugh, gross. Girl, Ashanti, you're going to need some help. But in the end of Ebony said, he's a really great guy, besides the fact that he likes to debate. And Donna said, the fact that you told me he likes to debate and that he's a great guy wants me to want him more. Because let me tell you something. The reason Donna likes someone who she can debate with is because she's seeking someone on that level that can joust with her intellectually. She's looking for that. But what she's going to find out with Vince is I don't think it's a whole lot of intellectualness up there. I don't. I don't think it is. I don't. And I think that it's going to be a match that's not going to go enough rounds. And I think what'll happen is Donna will defeat Vince so much that his sexual attraction to her will go like this. Vince is attracted to winning the verbal debates. He's not attracted to losing them. And Donna will destroy him in a debate. She will destroy him. So Vince says he loves the positive energy of Nicole, but he believes that maybe Donna is his good match. And he came to the conclusion, which he already knew, that Ashante is too young for him. Ashante is not suited for a lot of people on here. Then we got to see the date with Steven and his ex, Amber. And on that date, we had Donna, again, Ashante, and Lauren. And when they said, what you normally doing, how you normally spend your time, Donna says she's sitting in a coffee shop doing homework. Girl, tell the truth. You sit in a coffee shop working on your app and probably interviewing people in that coffee shop, your dating app. Statistical analysis, data gathering. And Ashante says she does a whole lot of stuff by herself. I know you do, girl. I know you do. I know you do a lot of stuff for yourself. And that is the problem, because it's almost becoming like a recluse, a hermit. You so afraid you putting yourself in a bubble. Don't get too close to anybody. Don't have no PDA. Don't have no go to cocktail bars where you can mix and mingle, go slow, become friends first. Girl, Shantae, that book you read, I don't know. We're going to need to do some more work. Call me, girl. Call me. Lauren says she's always outside entertaining a bunch of people. And she wants to be able the ability to come home and lay down with her man, Steven. And she says she's typically drawn to opposites of her. I can't remember what they said she did, but she must be in the entertainment industry or social networking and whatever. And she says, I'm ready to come home and watch some Westerns with my husband and my 2 boys. And we found something interesting from the exes. And that was Amber. Amber said, well, Steven is emotionally unavailable. And Steven is not romantic. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my goodness, Ashante. Maybe this is your match. Steven is emotionally unavailable and he's not romantic. Ashante gonna fall in love with her some Steven. That's my prediction right now, that Ashante is gonna fall in love with some Steven. He's good looking, he's cute, he's emotionally unavailable, and he's not romantic. And that's gonna be her safe space. She's gonna feel real comfortable with Steven. And that's gonna allow her the chance to grow in her feelings. And then eventually she's gonna feel real good about Steven. She's gonna be, oh, now I'm ready to be really romantic and I'm really ready to go deep. And Steven's gonna be like, what you mean? This was no act. I'm not emotionally unavailable in the beginning. I'm emotionally unavailable all the time. And then Ashante gonna be like, wait a minute. I thought this was just gonna be the beginning of the relationship. Give me a chance to grow into it. But I can kind of see them together in the beginning, be honest with you. I can see it now. Um, Donna, on the other hand, scared the hell out of Steven because she was running around talking about how she ready to move in with someone after 3 months. Donna. Donna says she at the place in her life that if she saw a man, she would move in with a man with 3 months. Donna, where are these statistics coming from? I need to see the data, Donna. What subject matters have you studied that says you ready to move in within 3 months? And that sent Stephen running for the hills. Stephen was running faster than that fox around Darius's neck. He was like, "Oh hell no! I'm emotionally unavailable. Period. And you want to move into my house within 3 months? What does Stephen teach? And as a teacher, what is his subject matter that he teaches?" He said, "That's crazy, Donna. You are out." He said Lauren is soft spoken with him, and he likes that. What he's saying is, Lauren, don't push me. You see, Stephen has probably had a lot of women trying to push him out of these spaces that he's in. I guarantee you that any woman Stephen has been with has wanted more romanticism from him, has wanted more of him to become emotionally available. And although he's probably a good guy, they probably start feeling alone in their relationship. And what he probably is, probably what he's being attracted to Lauren is, Lauren seems like the person where she's got enough going on that she's not going to require a whole lot from me. And Ashante, they said that they believe she requires more effort, not emotional effort going out to the clubs, the cocktail bars. And Steven said, "I'm not trying to go out to no cocktail bars. I'm a teacher. I be tired. I get home. I'm having to deal with badass students all day. When I get home, I barely even want to talk to people. I want to sit on the couch. And so I need a woman who's not going to be trying to push me for a whole lot of activity." So, Ashante, you might have too much whip in your game. I don't know. But if Shante can settle down a little bit, hey, maybe they can make it in the beginning until Ashante gets comfortable. And then once she gets comfortable, she's going to want something else. And then she's going to realize the person she got comfortable with, he was the best guy for her in the beginning of the relationship until she got comfortable. But once she got comfortable, he now doesn't have the skills that she needs now that she's comfortable. You see, that's the problem with picking people out of your fear. Because once you get past your fear and you are now in this new state, that person you picked because you picked them out of fear ain't the person who you need for your real life going forward. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But anyway, the next date we got to see was with Devin, and we got to see his ex, Kayla. And Devin said, "I got gifts for everybody." He is playing the game. We come to find out Devin gave, who was the girl, Christina, $180 for a massage. We find out now that he's also sent white roses or roses to Dominique's job. Now he got gifts for everyone. And Nicole walked in and goes, "Ooh, I got a gift." She didn't even notice there was 3 other bags there. She's so clueless. Nicole is so clueless. She didn't even notice that there were more than one bag there. And when she found out he had gifts for everybody, her face was on the floor. On the floor. But she was so hurt by it. Why are you hurt by it, Nicole? What would make you think he'd invite 3 women to a date and then only give one of you the gift in front of everybody? Now, we know that's what Pimp Daddy Darius did, but he took her to the roof to do it. He took her up on the roof or wherever they went to give her that gift. But Dominique showed up once again in her other Birkin bag. So you got 2, Dominique? You got 2 $30,000 Birkin bags? Girl, but you here dating these guys? Dominique, these ain't your men. These are not your men. Nope, 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 nope. They're not. But the men that Dominique might really want, I'm not for sure they checking for Dominique. So I don't know. Dominique, you got a dilemma, girl. You got a dilemma. And Nicole is up here showing up with her insecurities on her sleeve, on her collar, you know, you know, in her feet, everywhere. It's just all over her. Insecurity all over her. Talking about, do you like me? Do you like me? Girl, you was just crying over Ed last episode that he was going home in a full-on breakdown. And now you over here pressing Devin, show me you like me. Show me you like me. Tell me you like me. It's too much. I mean, Nicole and Ashante are on two opposite ends of the pole. But Devon, he really likes Shannon. Shannon said is caring. Shannon said he is caring and he is a good listener. She loves all that, all of that. Earlier, when I'm still concerned about Shannon, these pearls, I'm concerned about Shannon when anyone ever asks her about herself. She leads with her career. She did that on the other earlier date. You know, we had the dilation wheel for the sharing gift. Then we had the falling on the job, having a concussion, another intimate story. And then the other part is tell me about yourself. And the first thing she talks about is how she's a nurse. Shannon is concerning me that she doesn't have enough dimensions to her. Yes, she's a nice, sweet girl, but how many dimensions have we seen of Shannon besides her profession and these pearls? This not enough, Shannon. This not enough. And Nicole is running around here asking for constant validation. She is like a puppy dog and running around talking about, I really don't like my man talking to anyone, not another girl, no one but me. This sounds ridiculous, Nicole. This sounds really, really ridiculous. I'm almost wondering if Nicole went so hard in the paint this episode so that she could get eliminated so she can go on back and chase Ed. Because the way that Nicole was self-destructing and basically wore some type of vest to blow herself up on this episode made me think that this is another form of self-elimination so she can go on back and try to rekindle with Ed. That's my bet. That's my bet. Because when she went home, in the end, I don't even think she cried. She cried more about Ed leaving than when she was eliminated. I really do believe it. She cried more when Ed left than when she got eliminated. She got some issues. But Ed needs to stay away from Nicole. Every man needs to stay away from Nicole. And Nicole needs to come with like a certificate of completion of at minimum 1 year of therapy. Nobody should date Nicole. You know how the young people, y'all got to ask for your test results. You guys need to start asking for not only test results, but I need a letter of certificate to show that you are actively involved in therapy or you've been. Real therapists out there, y'all need to start issuing certificates of completion. And I would ask for one from Nicole because right now, she's a danger to the dating world. She's in danger of becoming a stalker. Even when she got to elimination day and she was on the date with Bello, she was so excited about the date. Everybody else knows that when you get invited on a date this so soon after the groups have talked, that means you might have been on the bottom. That's why you on the date. But it didn't even cross Nicole's mind. Nicole lives in La La Land, in this pageant world. I'm going to tell people, don't put your girls in the pageant. I have not in pageant world. Every time we see on one of these reality shows, a girl who is from the pageant world, they always have emotional self-esteem damage because they were constantly rated their whole life since they were a little girl. and they're constantly trying to beat other women. They have a hard time even making friends with women because for the longest, women have been their competition in this pageantry world. I see it too often. Don't put your daughters in the pageant world. And Nicole lives in La La Land. She didn't pick up on the fact that when she was getting the gift bags, there was multiple people getting the gift bags. She didn't pick up on the fact that Ed ain't interested in her for 20 years. She didn't pick up on the fact that you're in an elimination date. She's all excited that Bello has invited her. Bello over here being all nice. Let me pull your seat up. You need a fork? You need a knife? You better remove all sharp objects from the table, Bello. And she didn't even realize what was coming. Just clueless. Nicole is just clueless. You know, she better, like I said, she needs to get something to give herself some superpowers. And then when Ashanti was on her elimination date, here she is once again fighting for her life about, well, doesn't everybody want to be friends first? Girl, stop it. Girl, stop it. You don't think we can see past this mask, this whole thing of pushing to be friends first? It's just a shield. Everybody can see this, Ashanti. You're not fooling nobody. Maybe you just fooling yourself. Maybe you just fooling yourself. But in the end, they sent the right person home. They sent Nicole home. She needs to go home and she needs to immediately sign up with a therapist. And until she gets a certificate of completion, she needs to check out of the dating world. Check out completely. Don't be dating nobody from undergrad, grad. Don't be dating no one on that university that you lecture on. Nothing. Take a hiatus. Take a whole hiatus. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got for this episode. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. And don't forget to like my video. And then don't forget to also subscribe on the video. Okay, I need your likes and your subscriptions. And we will see y'all on the next episode of Ready Love. Talk to y'all later. Bye.